You see some creators with meteoric growth, taking over every single platform that they touch. You see some companies doing the same, making brand-defining content on every single social platform. How do they generate so much unique, engaging content? The trick is, they don't. Well, not exactly. They stretch what they do make with content optimization, as well as outsourcing, hiring editors, things like that. But the thing anyone can apply is content optimization. Let's get started. Before we begin, I'd really appreciate if you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell icon, and leave a like at the video if you enjoyed it. It's free and it all helps me out. Back to the video. What is content optimization? It's the act of turning one idea into many pieces of content, with the idea that it doesn't take much marginal effort to add more pieces of content based off of the one idea you develop. In my case, a blog post becomes a YouTube video, becomes several shorts and TikToks. More or less is how you get the most bang for your buck out of the content that you actually make. For most creators, the most effort-consuming part of their content is actually generating and developing ideas. So once the ideas are already developed, it's not much extra effort to transform it to work across different platforms. So what's the process? First, consider your root content. Your root content, in simple terms, is what you create. It's the hub in which your core ideas are both developed and executed. For most creators, it's the first and sometimes second step of their content funnel, a term we'll get to later. So for example, my root content is YouTube, the second step of my content. I write my blog posts before I make my YouTube videos, but I consider my blog posts to be a part of the process of making my YouTube videos, in the sense of organizing ideas and things like that. But as such, YouTube is my root content from which I make my other content, and for which I develop my ideas. It's also worth noting that depending on your content, you might have different routes for different pieces of content in different optimization workflows. For example, if you both stream games on Twitch and produce a podcast on YouTube and other podcasting platforms, both your stream and your podcast might be separate routes in different workflows. The main point is that root content is where you execute your ideas, and that content is then repurposed or otherwise modified for other platforms. So if you're unsure what your root content is, one way to think about it is, how would your average viewer label you as? Even if you make YouTube videos, would you be considered a Twitch streamer? Even if you make TikToks, would you be considered a YouTuber? In most cases, what both you and your viewers view you as is what your root content is, even if the majority of your views come from other platforms. Your root content is where you spend most of your effort and creative energy, as it's the most creative part of your content optimization pipeline. Though in the process of making your root content and developing those ideas, it's similarly important to consider how that root content will be transformed and repurposed along your content funnel, in how you plan and execute it. Once you get your root content, it's time to intentionally design your content funnel. The content funnel is where you take your root content and branch it out. Streams become YouTube videos, become TikToks, become highlights posted to Twitter. Though this isn't always the case, it generally takes far more time to make and develop your root content than it does to repurpose it for the points on your content funnel. It's a vertical downward flow of your effort from long form to short form. Many successful gaming creators have a funnel that looks like this. Their root content is their stream on Twitch. Next, from that stream on Twitch, they make long form YouTube videos. Third, they may post highlights as short form videos on TikTok. And last, they may consider alternative short form areas such as Instagram stories and video highlights on Twitter. In this process, the gaming creator may plan their stream with the rest of the funnel in mind. They'd add enough narrative or other planning such that the stream could easily be edited down into an engaging YouTube video. Then they'd reference some of the best standalone moments for TikToks, as well as viewer-made clips to help engage their community. And some creators may post other clips to Twitter. It's very much worth noting that, ironically, the content lower down on your funnel is typically more responsible for your growth. TikToks and Shorts have far more discoverability than long-form YouTube videos, and this bite-sized content helps grow your audience across all platforms. Similarly, well-structured and fast-paced YouTube videos are a far better way to get to know a creator, their style, and their interests than a relaxed Twitch stream. And these YouTube videos typically spark the interest of a potential viewer to check out the stream in the first place. Therefore, as you plan your root content, you must consider every step of your content funnel and plan accordingly. Roots may be the foundation of your chi, but branches get far more exposure. The fact that you're planning long-form videos and TikToks to be made from your root content should alter how you plan that root content. Planning your streams, knowing that they'll be cut down, forces you to make them much more narratively cohesive. And this improves the quality of both the stream and the video you make from it. Beating Breath of the Wild without taking any damage is a far more engaging premise than something like Breath of the Wild hard mode Stream highlights. Number 3. The point is premise and narrative are important, and the better the premise and or narrative are in your root content, the better your long-form videos and TikToks will end up being. With all this in mind, plan your streams and other root content with some of these considerations to help bolster them up. What kinds of streams lend themselves to video content beyond simple highlight reels and best moments? How can you add narrative to your stream, both in terms of planning and in editing? For example, many streamers will add highly edited intros to introduce the narrative and premise of the video from their stream. By delivering the narrative and the premise, they are telling you why you should care and why you should watch this content. Also, how can you leave notes to yourself while editing your videos to further edit them down to TikToks? For example, while you're making your YouTube videos, in your editing software, set markers to leave notes for moments and segments that might make for good TikToks. Last, for ideal quality, will you have to reshoot anything for other platforms? And if so, can you do that shooting simultaneously? For example, for your TikToks, you might want the original shot to be in portrait orientation while your YouTube videos are in landscape. You might consider using your phone as a portrait camera while you record your landscape orientation on your main camera. Or if needed, simply reshoot the TikTok separately. But wait, your funnel can be horizontal too. If the vertical part of your content funnel is making the most of ideas and distilling them down to shorter and shorter form, from streams and podcasts to YouTube videos to shorts and TikToks, the horizontal aspect entails posting this same content to other platforms, typically with little to no additional editing. For example, a lot of creators multi-stream to Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook all at the same time using Restream.io. It's worth noting that simultaneous streaming is against the affiliate and partner program agreement for Twitch, and this is why some people choose not to sign any contracts with Twitch. However, at least for affiliates, Twitch typically doesn't ever enforce this, so use at your own risk. You might re-upload your YouTube videos to Facebook. There's a huge international audience there. You might repost your TikToks as YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. And if you're a blogger, you might copy your posts from your website to a blogging platform like Medium, or share a shorter version alongside the blog as an Instagram post. The point is, content optimization is all about making the most of your content. Depending on how you treat your social media pages, this could just be a vertical flow from long form to short form. It could also mean simply reposting horizontally, or a little mix of both. YouTubers like MrBeast, Graham Stephan, and Daniel Thrasher have all been really successful at reposting their YouTube videos to Facebook with just minimal editing, so this type of thing is absolutely a strategy at least worth considering. Podcasters share to as many podcast platforms as possible, so why should you feel guilty about doing this for your streams and videos? Something to think about. Now we'll do a quick demo. I'm going to show you my content optimization workflow from blog to YouTube video to TikToks. Let's get started. This is one of my videos from a couple months ago called When Not to Pursue Brand Deals. First off, in writing the blog on andycormier.blog, check that out in the description, I wrote the content of the blog to flow pretty well, but I divided it into 7 sections to make it really easy to structure the YouTube video. Like 1, independence with your content. 2, changing who you are and your persona is. So having such clear-cut sections on the blog post helps for making chapters in my YouTube video, and then those chapters in the YouTube video can just as easily be turned into 1 minute or less TikToks. Now, here's the Premiere Pro timeline for the YouTube video. As you can see, every so often, there are purple segments. What do those mean? For each point that I would later turn into a YouTube chapter, I would label it purple, or violet, whatever Premiere Pro calls it. This makes it so I can highlight from the first purple bit to the last blue bit, and then I can turn that into a TikTok. So this turns into this. And as you can see in the bottom left, I made 7 TikToks. I started with 7 sections in my blog post, which turned into 7 chapters in my YouTube video, which then turned into 7 TikToks. That's content optimization, baby. 1 blog post, 1 video, and 7 TikToks turns into 9 pieces of content. And because I post the TikToks as YouTube Shorts as well, that's technically 16 posts from that. And it's worth noting that when I post these as shorts, I make sure not to post them to my subscriber feed or alert my subscribers, because this is bonus content for people who are looking through their shorts, not content that I want my subscribers to see and then get distracted by from my main content. But there's one very important additional note. Sustainability and balance are key. While content optimization takes a lot less effort per piece of content, it still takes effort. Remember, you are a person, not a content machine. Don't exhaust yourself from stretching every last piece of content as far as it can possibly go. It's okay if you're not completely optimal with your content. This isn't old school RuneScape. You can waste experience from time to time. Find balance. Don't spend so much time optimizing content that you overwork yourself or neglect actually developing original ideas, fueling your content in the first place. But at the same time, it is very worth making the most of the best ideas that you do have. Whether your balance is not optimizing every single piece of content, or only doing 1 or 2 steps of optimization, or something else entirely, balance and sustainability are key. For example, I haven't been super on it with making TikToks recently. I kind of had to force myself to make those 7 TikToks last night just so that I could have this demo for the video. And that's because I find making TikToks a little bit tedious compared to writing blogs or making YouTube videos. And that's also because when I do make TikToks, I typically make like 10 at a time. In that case, my sustainable solution might be to either not make so many TikToks, or when I do make TikToks, make fewer at a time. Or even to hire an editor to take the load off if I really care so much about making TikToks. I don't want to cut making TikToks and YouTube Shorts out, as they're great for the growth of my channel, but I must do so sustainably. So again, sustainability is key. For every like this video gets, I will not make 1 TikTok. Help me be sustainable. This is a joke, but please like, comment, subscribe, and otherwise engage with my content. It really helps out more than you could possibly imagine. Okay, we're zooming out. We're zooming out. I don't want to get you uncomfortable, but go forth and optimize. Consider every step of your content funnel, from your long form streams to your very short form TikToks and Twitter clips, and let that guide some of your creative process. Whether you only optimize vertically and only go from long form to short form, or add some horizontality into the mix, I don't know if horizontality is a word, but bear with me. Make the most of your content. Remember to plan your routes such that they more easily transition into other content on your funnel. And remember to be sustainable. Don't spend so much time optimizing content that you overwork yourself and neglect the ideas that you have, because your ideas are worth sharing. And content optimization lets you share those ideas with more people. And if you're curious about why I optimize my content in the first place, check out my video on why I write a blog. Because you might be thinking, Andy, why do you talk about a blog so much in this thing about content optimization when all your examples are streamers? The answer is, writing a blog also helps with the job hunt. But watch the video to find out why. Thanks for watching, leave a like, subscribe for more, watch that video next, and I'll see you next time. Happy creating.